Good evening, believers, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. In this video, I want to highlight the following. That thing called self-defense, which is related to another narcissistic concept called self-respect, unlearn it. Unlearn self-defense as well as self-respect. Because those two concepts, they won't benefit you in daily life at all. About self-defense. When it comes down to it, society won't choose you. Society will choose itself at your expense. Let me explain. Let me give an explanation. Let's say you're walking down in the streets and someone puts a knife to your neck. Your survival instinct goes on. Your prefrontal cortex is shut down temporarily, so you can't think logically anymore. Your body is in survival mode. So what happens is you do whatever you can to get free. And what if you end up killing the individual putting a knife at your neck? Well, people would say, it's not your fault. And it's not your fault because you did not put yourself in that situation. The other individual endangered you, and now the danger backfired on him or her. And now you need to live with the fact that you killed someone. You didn't murder someone, you didn't intend to take someone's life, but you ended up taking someone's life because someone else tried to take yours. This is something you need to process. This is a trauma, a very deep-rooted thing that you need to be healed from. But apart from you, the community has to process that someone's life has ended. And if the truth comes out that that individual intended to harm you and they put you in a bad position that you couldn't help yourself, then people will say, okay, we can't blame you. You're not guilty because you didn't do anything wrong. You were put in that situation. But look at this. That individual that attacked you, why did he attack you? That individual, where does he come from? He comes from that community, right? He did not came out of the womb thinking he's about to attack you. What happened? If this individual was out of his mind, why didn't he or she receive proper help before? And how come they weren't in their right mind? Who abused them psychologically? Who tortured them? What went wrong in their development as part of the community that led them to do that? So even though it's an individual that did the crime and backfired, that individual was shaped in the community. So somewhere, something went wrong in that community. If the parents of that child were out of their mind and the community tolerated, and the community tolerated child abuse that leads to someone becoming a monster, in any way, something went wrong with the community. So the community has to self-reflect on themselves and realize, okay, there's something we need to deal with. What happens in the world? People don't want to go there. When something shocking happens, you just want to forget about it and continue in relief. That's the world. When they're forced to face themselves, they'll lose their minds. And when they lose their minds, they'll turn on each other, dumping negative energy. That will lead to fights, domestic violence, and that will escalate very quickly. So, what happens? The authorities don't want this to happen. So, if you out of self-defense killed someone because they intended to kill you, what happens? You may still go to jail for 2 or 3 years. Why? Because when you go to jail, the community feels avenged and they can close the chapter. Even though you were not wrong, you will still be blamed and you still have to go to jail. Because if the authorities don't jail you, someone from the community may decide to come after you. And then you will have this recycle of violence over and over again. And no community wants that. So, you may believe in self-defense, but when it comes down to it, society will choose for itself at your expense. They will come with excuse by saying, why didn't you walk away? They will find some reason to blame you. Because if they don't find someone to blame, the community will become mad. And sometimes they will put the blame on someone who had nothing to do with it just to ease the public. That's why, for example, in the United States, which operates under common law, which is common law is based on the Greek theater. I've explained that in other videos already. That's why in the United States you have so many people that were imprisoned for something they didn't do. And when you go back to the case, before they were convicted, you would think, what? This guy's convicted for rape. And he was sentenced to 20 years in jail. Even though in that state you only get 5 years for rape. He got 20. So why such a long sentence? Well, normally you get only 5. So this man was convicted for rape, but he was out of town when the alleged rape took place. How could he physically be out of town, but he physically raped someone while he was physically not present? So anyone would look at that would think, okay, this man needs to be released from jail. But if the authorities admit that this individual was in jail for almost 13 years while he was innocent, they also need to explain how did he end up there while there was no evidence. Then they need to expose themselves, and then the public will lose their trust in the legal system. And once this happens, people will likely take matters in their own hands more quickly, so you will have other consequences they don't want to deal with. So they will likely dismiss the case or delay the retrial so that everyone forgets about it. There are many people in the United States. It's not only the United States, but I'm using the United States as an example. There are many people in the United States who ended up in jail for something they didn't do just because the public didn't want to face themselves. I know it's not right, it's unfair, but such things happen. Even in school, when someone attacks you and you fight back, when teachers come, they punish everyone. Even though you didn't start the fight, you only act in defense, you get blames too. So, what does this show you? People in the world don't want resolutions, they don't want solutions, they don't want to comply with justice. They just want relief. So if you are the target of a smear campaign, instead of dealing with the people that are lying about you, people will be upset with you. Why? Because for them to acknowledge that there are predators amongst them is something that's very uncomfortable for them. So it's easier for them to join the predators against you, because in their idea, as long as the negative attention is on you, then it's not on them. So if they push you away, then you won't have predators. So all the bad people have their focus on you, that means they are free, they are relieved. That's how society is. Society will choose itself at your expense. But at the same time, that same society wants you to fully invest in it without murmuring, without complaining, and not questioning anything. I'm telling you, unlearned self-defense and self-respect, those things are scams to keep you trapped in this allegiance to this fear construct called society. When it comes down to it, they're not supporting you. When it comes down to it, they will drop you. They will demand everything from you, absolutely everything, but when it comes down to it, they will drop you. That's what society is. And about self-defense, I mean it. It's best to bypass things than have to confront things. Look, some people say, but Rashid, if you never stand up for yourself, you become a doormat. No. When you learn to shut down evil around you spiritually, you won't become a doormat and you won't keep encountering the same thing over and over again because you've bypassed the pattern. When you go into self-defense, you are in a survival mode and you develop a pattern of defense. And once you're in a pattern, you're stuck. And now they can use this pattern against you. Let's give another example. Let's say you have a guy from a neighborhood. He was beaten up a lot of times because people just need someone to dump their filth upon. And they used to beat him up a lot since he was a little boy. Now he's in his 20s and he has enough. He's so much anger, he decides, you know what? I'm going to carry a gun with me. The next individual that looks at me and weird way, bam! And let's say now that this guy thinks that you looked weird at him, but you didn't do it. You were just staring in front of you at the bus station, but he thinks that you looked weird at him. He is so traumatized that he thinks that you're about to hit him, but you weren't even thinking about that. You didn't even notice he was there. But he thinks that, and he's triggered. He has a gun. And he walks to you, looking for a fight. He thinks he's defending himself. Do you think your self-defense skills are going to work? No. Your judo, your karate, I don't taekwondo, I don't care what type of martial arts you know, it won't work because it has a gun. You always pull that gun and you're dead. But if you are covered supernaturally, you'll be there standing in front of you and the individual sees you, but at the same time he's seeing you, the bad interpretation begins to haunt him and he thinks, I don't even want to talk to this guy. He just walks away from you. The violence bounces off of you. You won't even notice that there was a potential danger coming towards you because it just bounces off. In that case, you bypass the danger around you and you bypass the patterns of violence. That's the best. When you bypass things, you don't even have to walk away because you don't have to walk away because it's the danger and the violence that walks away from you. That's how we ought to be as believers. Those in the world, without a supernatural cover, they're the ones that have to walk away. With us, danger walks away from us. That's the real defense you need to operate in. And that defense comes from Christ. Unlearn self-defense. You can't defend yourself. Because you're not aware of everything. You're not knowledgeable about all dangers out there. You're not. Self-respect, that you defend people from treating you badly. Listen, if someone has failed in their head, then they will act in a filthy way. So I don't care how much you quote-unquote defend your reputation. If they are filthy, they will act filthy. So when they act filthy, they're not acting filthy. Now you don't have to tolerate that filth. You can just walk away, but don't think I have self-respect, I'm going to put boundaries on that. No. You are going to a survival mode by operating in defense, and this becomes a pattern. And once you're in a pattern, demons get a hold on you. People can turn the pattern against you. So you're actually making it easy. You're making it easier for predators to get a hold on you when you go into self-defense or self-respect, which are both survival modes. Walk by faith. Be ahead of stuff. Bypass things supernaturally. That's how we ought to walk. Because society will talk about self-defense. But listen, when you're walking in the streets and someone suddenly stabs you and you end up in a hospital, listen, it's not your fault, but you're still in the hospital. Are they going to pay the hospital bills for you? Are they going to financially compensate the fact that you couldn't work, that you may have lost your job, you may have lost your home, and that you may have lost opportunities in life because you were in the hospital recovering? No. So they promote something to you that will not benefit you. And it's after bad stuff happened to you to realize that it was all about making money, but they don't actually care anything about you. They don't actually are concerned with you at all. Society is concerned with itself. Only itself. Always remember that. So let go of self-defense and operate in the real defense that comes from Christ. Read Psalms 91 as inspiration. Be at peace.